My name is Allen. I'm owner and founder of the Beez Kneez. We're at 2204 Minnehaha Avenue South in Minneapolis. I founded the business in 2010 on Halloween. I dressed up like a bee and painted my bike like one and went out and handed business cards with honey samples. The Dandelion Honey Pastry Chef Challenge is an annual event that we started last year with the Healthy Bees, Healthy Lives campaign. When we started the campaign, we asked people to do 4 things. One was to advocate for pollinator-friendly policies. One was to take the pollinator pledge, and you get this lawn sign, and that pollinator pledge says you won't use chemicals in your green space. The third was to plant more flowers, and the fourth is to be a very conscious and educated consumer when you are buying things that you're putting in the landscapes. I think the most beautiful thing about honey as a food source is that it never expires. And it is our opportunity. The bees bring us nectar from flowers, which how else would you really get it? And then they turn it into honey. And it's really, in a lot of ways, very good for you, and you can use it in multiple ways. So we're inviting back pastry chefs from Open Arms, Lucia's, Restaurant Alma, Mademoiselle Miel, Seward Community Co-op Bakery, and Gigi's. And the celebrity judges, we have John Krause from Pastry 46, who is a recent semi-finalist in James Beard Award. We have Heather McEtten, who will be actually our MC as well as a judge. She's an NPR reporter that does this A Beautiful World on NPR. And Dr. Marla Spivak and Ann Bancroft will return, and Brenda Langton from Spoon River will also be judging. We'll have the Minnesota Roller Girls there, dressed up as bees. We will have treats from Red Table Meats, Lone Grazer Creamery, Spoon River. We also will have 2 bands, a jug band, People's Revolutionary Jug Band, and Patty and the Buttons, they're both amazing bands. It'll be at the Lab Theater downtown on April 22nd. At the event, the whole reason behind it this year is to launch our new initiative, which is a flower planting campaign, and people can pre-order these pollinator patch kits that we've designed specifically for feeding bees pollen and nectar. There'll be an address by Dr. Marla Spivak to talk about bees, and then we'll have the competition as well. So the pastry chefs are donated honey from Barbell Bee Ranch that Beez Kneez delivers by bicycle. So each chef gets a gallon of honey actually to practice with and then produce said treat. So it turns out pastry chefs are really competitive, this year we challenged them to only use dandelion honey as their sweetener, so they can't use any sugar or anything else like that. So it'll be an interesting event.
I'm Carrie Riggs. I work at Restaurant Alma. I'm the pastry chef, and we're at 528 University Avenue Southeast. I got into it. I used to be a teacher, and then found myself taking more and more time off of teaching to make things for friends, for baby showers and weddings and whatever. So eventually I just made the switch, and it was the best decision I ever made. No bees, no food. All my favorite fruits would be gone forever without bees. Without bees, there's no strawberries, there's no blueberries. We need them to pollinate everything. No apples. What would we do without apples in Minnesota? You know, honey is everything. Honey's so diverse and provides so much great flavor to things. Well, the thrill is that there's so many different types of honey and so many different types of, you know, textures to go with it too. There's whipped honeys, there's honeys that crystallize, sometimes are really interesting too, that aren't pasteurized, and then really smooth and clear honeys. And then depending on the flowers that the bees have been with, they have a different flavor. It can be challenging because it behaves a little differently than sugar does, so it's a challenge to switch like a cake recipe, switch it out to completely honey, but you know, if you're creative and mess with it enough, you can make it happen.
Who's your biggest competitor?
Probably, I'm gonna just say Lucia's and Gigi's, because they won last year. They really brought it. Gigi's had a drink to go with their dessert. I wasn't counting on that.
What is your favorite pastry weapon?
The freezer. Because you can make things really pretty. You can set things in molds and unmold them then, but it's really difficult to do without a freezer. My secondary weapon would be spoons. The perfect spoon will make the perfect scoop, the perfect quenelle. You have to have the right spoon or it won't work.
Oh.